Hello everyone, welcome to Qlikview. For the last few months, I couldn't post any new videos due to some personal work. I will try to upload more videos in the upcoming days. Today, I'm going to talk about some of the effective ways to use Visual Studio Code for faster coding. Visual Studio Code is a popular code editor and almost fits for all programming languages. It is one of my favorite code editor as well. For the last few months, I have been training people in the area of web development and Python programming. I have asked my colleague to try VS Code for their development work. During the training, I found that they struggle to use VS Code, so I showed them on how to use the VS Code faster using shortcuts and different features. I thought of creating it in a video format, which might help more people. In this video, I'll show you some of the tips for beginners on how to use VS Code. If you find it useful, please give a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. So, without wasting time, let's jump onto the topic. Use of extensions. Extensions in VS Code help to improve your coding experience with additional features, and these extensions are very specific to different programming languages. So to install the extension, go to your Visual Studio Code, and on the left hand side you will see different options, and one of the option is extensions. Open this, and here you can search the extension that you want. For example, I can use this filter icon to filter out the most popular extension. So for example, here Python, this is one of the extension for Python which is developed by Microsoft, which helps to linting and debugging are in the Python code. Similarly, you have extensions available for different languages. Say for example, Jupyter Notebook. You can run the Jupyter Notebook within the VS Code. I have used this live server extensions for my web development work. So this helps me to run a local server and test my HTML page without any additional coding. So once I install this specific extension, all I need to do is open my folder in VS Code, which has that HTML file that I have created. I can right click on the file and say open with live server, which will open the page in browser, and it allows me to test the file directly in the browser. So once it opens, all I need to do is, if I make any changes in the code, it will reflect in the browser immediately without any need of refreshing the page. So if I want to change the color of the page, I can just change it, PG gray 800. So if you see here, it has changed the output immediately. All I'm doing is editing this particular HTML file and saving it. As soon as I save it, it will reflect in the right hand side in the browser. So if you want to improve your speed of coding, then definitely you must try a suitable extension for your programming language. So do some basic research before you begin any programming. Just try to find the extension which might be helpful for you in the extension marketplace and try to use it. Formatting. Formatting is more important for any programming language. It helps you to understand the structure of the code, hence it reduces the debugging time. Also, other developers can understand your code very easily. It is very difficult to follow the formatting always. Sometimes it might even take more time. But VS Code comes with formatting option for most of the programming language. All you need to do is go to the Visual Studio Code and right click on the document, and you will see this format document option. You can click on this to format the entire document, or also you can use the shortcut key Shift Alt F to format the document. So there is another option available which will help you to format only the selected portion of the code. So you can select the text, select the code which you want to format, and you can click on this format selection. Sometimes for formatting the some of the programming language, you may need to install additional extension, but in any case, this will definitely help you to Format the code in an easy way. Make use of the shortcut keys to format the code, which will save a lot of time for you. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is find and replace using regular expressions. You all familiar about find and replace functionality. Using regular expressions for finding and replacing a specific text helps us in different situations, especially when you want to avoid manually replacing a pattern of text. Let's see one of the use case on how to use regular expression in finding and replacing a text. If you see here, I have a list of software names. I want to use these list of softwares in my JavaScript code as an array of values like this. A straightforward way is enclosing each values in quotes and moving the items to individual lines one by one for better readability. But using regular expression to find and replace helps us to do this in no time, irrespective of the number of values that we have in this particular list. All you need to do is press Ctrl H in your keyboard and get this find and replace option and enable this last option for regular expression search. First, I want to move these individual items to a new line. For that, I'll search for a comma and a space, and I'm going to replace it with /n, and the /n is nothing but a new line character. So if I replace all, and everything will come in a new line. Now I want to put a quotes around each item. For that, to put the codes in the starting of the each line, I need to put this caret symbol to search the start of each line and replace it with quotes. But if I replace this, it will put double quotes at the starting of each line. Now I want to do the same thing for at the end of the line. So for that, I'm going to use dollar, which searches for the end of the line, and I'm going to replace the same thing with double quotes, but this time I'm going to put a comma at the end so that each value will be separated by a comma. So if I replace everything, now it got replaced. All I can do is I can copy this text and I can use it in my JavaScript code, and I can remove the final comma. That's it. I just showed one option, but it can be used in different scenarios. Also, you don't have to be a master in regular expression. Understanding the basics would help you in doing things faster using this method. If you see here, we have only 10 items to do this. What if there are like 50 items, right? We cannot do this manually by putting this codes and moving everything in individual lines, right? So using regular expression, you can do this in very less time. I just showed you one option, but it can be used in different scenarios. Also, you don't have to be a master in regular expressions. Understanding the basics of regular expression would help you in doing these things faster and in an efficient way. Fine. Let's move on to the next step. The next one we are going to talk about is editing multiple lines. So I'm going to show you how to edit multiple lines faster by using an example. So for this, I will show you what is the output that I'm going to create. So here I have the list of softwares, and this is how I want to display it in my UI. So I want to add a list of softwares with decimal bulletins, and for all the list items I'm going to use the same look and feel. So let me show you the HTML code behind this. So this is the HTML code. I have a UL element, and inside that I have multiple LI elements, and each LI element has the software name. Now if you look at this LI elements class name, I have used the same class name for all the list items to get this kind of look and feel, and I'm using the Tailwind CSS to get this look and feel. So let's see how to create this list item in a faster way by just using this text. Let's begin. So for that, I'm going to copy this entire text here, and I'm going to the HTML file without that list elements. So I'm going to create the UL element first. Inside that, I'm going to paste the text that I copied. Let's format this. For formatting, I just used Alt Shift F shortcut key. Press Ctrl and Alt in your keyboard and keep the cursor in the starting position, and press down arrow till the cursor covers all the software list, all these lines. Now I'm going to type li element. See, as soon as I typed that li, it automatically completes the tag, but I want to put this tag at the end of the sentence. So I'll select this and cut it, and I'm going to press end in my keyboard, which will place the cursor at the end irrespective of the length of the line, and I'm going to paste it. Now this has been done. So it has created the list element. Let me save this. Now I got the list here. Now what I want to do is I want to add the class names. So I'm going to press home button to bring my cursor to the starting of the line. See, or else if you press the arrow key to bring it to the starting, so not all the cursor will move to the same position because the length of each sentence is different. So the easiest way to bring all the cursor to the starting is without using the arrow keys, you just need to use the home button. Now I'm going to keep the cursor here and I'm going to type class. If you see here, I'm just typing here in my keyboard only once, but it appears in all the lines because I have placed my cursor in different lines at the same position. Now I'm going to add the classes. I want a padding of px2 and padding y of 1 and margin as 1. Let me save it. Yes, and I'm going to add a background of gray maybe 50 and text gray 900. Now I got it. I want to create the list as decimal and list inside to show the bulletins. That's it. So from this list of softwares, I have created this HTML code with shortcuts in very less time. Also, you might want to add one more thing, like I want to add one more software list at later point of time. So that time what you can do is you can simply hold Alt and Shift key, keep the cursor in any one of the line and press Alt and Shift and press down arrow. This time it will create a duplicate line. So to see this, let me maximize the screen. If you see here, this line has duplicated. Let me do this again. So keep the cursor in any one of the line where you want to insert any new element here and press Alt and Shift in your keyboard and press down arrow, which will duplicate the line and change the software list to change the content to Adobe XD. Similarly, you can duplicate the line n number of times, and even you can duplicate a group of line like this. If you select 3 lines and press Alt Shift down arrow, this will duplicate the entire selected lines. If you want to change the look and feel of all the list items, keep the cursor in end position of any class name which you want to change and hold Ctrl Shift and press down arrow and select all the lines and change this 50 to say 200, which will change our color. Also, if you want to reorder this line, say for example, I want to move this Windows Media Player to the top, right? So you don't have to use again the cut copy paste method. All you need to do is click on the line which you want to move up and down and press Alt in your keyboard and use your arrows to position the line. So all I can do is press up and down arrow by holding the Alt key in my keyboard and reposition the particular line. And you can do this for a group of line also. You can select multiple lines together, and then you can keep pressing the Alt key, and you can just move that group of lines up and down. So this gives you a flexibility of editing multiple lines very quickly. So this improves definitely your speed of coding. So the next one we are going to see is code navigation. For example, I have this very lengthy code which is in React.js, and if you see here, the number of lines is almost 2500. If you want to understand this code, if, for example, if this could be developed by somebody else, or you're seeing this after some time, and if you want to understand where exactly I have created this particular variable, then you can use this code navigation options or code navigation shortcuts that comes with Visual Studio Code. Say for example, if you want to understand where exactly I have created this classes variable, then you can hold Control in your keyboard and hover over the variable, and automatically it will change to a hyperlink kind of text, and you can click on this variable, which will take you to the definition of the variable. So if you click on the variable wherever it has been used, then it will take you to the definition of the variable wherever you have declared it, so it will take you there. And if you do the same action on this place wherever it has been declared, right, then it will show you a pop-up, and it will show you the places where this variable has been used. See, for example, here this particular variable has been used in multiple places, and it has been highlighted here. All you can do is, without going to that particular line or without scrolling down, you can click on these places and see where exactly it has been used. And if you want to change something here, you can do it. So it's completely editable text. You can do it. In case if you want to go to the specific place, you can double click on this particular line, or you can double click on this selection, which will take you to the specific place where you have double clicked. And similarly, you can do this for any variable. Say for example, I want to use this set rank by confirmed variable. So if I want to understand where it has been used, I can click on this. It will take me to that particular position wherever it has been used automatically. So it will take me to the position if it has been used only once. If it has been used multiple times, then it will show me this pop-up. Say for example, rank by confirmed has been used multiple times, so it shows me a peek preview of this particular variable's usage, whereas this set rank by confirmed has been used only once. So if I click on this, it will directly take me to that particular line. And there is another way how you can access it. So instead of using the control and click, you can simply press the F12 button, which will invoke the same action. So you can simply press the F12 in your keyboard, or else you can right click and say go to definition. So this is the definition, so it will remain the same line. So if for example here I can right click and say go to definition, which will take me to the definition of that particular variable. And if I right click and say peek, and there are different options, peek definition, which will show the same line, and peek references, which will show me wherever it has been referred or used in the code. So this kind of navigation not only works within the code or within your one single JS module, but it can work across all the modules. For example, I will go to a specific JavaScript module, this app.js page, where I have two elements, navigation bar and page container. If I do the same action, control and page container, it will take me to the module wherever I have declared this page container. And similarly, this not only works for the modules that you have created, this works for the modules that comes from a third-party library. For example, I will show you on another example, like I have used icon button here. So this is a this is an element that comes from another third-party library. So if I want to understand where it has been created, I can simply do the same action. If I press Control and click on this particular name, it will take me to the file which is iconbutton.d.ts, and it will show me where it has been created. And from here, if I want to understand what is this icon button type map, I can do the same thing, and it will further take me to that particular position. So in this way, you can navigate within your JavaScript code or outside your JavaScript code very easily. So this helps you to understand your code in much better way, and it will also helps you to understand how this particular third-party element has been implemented. I hope this might give you a high-level idea on how to navigate between your lengthy or big JavaScript file in an easy way. So this reduces a lot of time in scrolling down and up multiple times when you make any frequent code changing. So finally, some bonus tips. This is not specific to Visual Studio Code, but there are some options I follow within my Windows OS to perform faster coding. So let me explain that. So whenever you work on any coding, so you may need to open multiple windows like Visual Studio Code, and say for example to check the output you may need to open a browser, or you may need to open a command prompt to run your code in the backend. Sometimes you may need to open multiple command prompts, so which will fill up your space in the taskbar. So what will happen, right? So if I have opened too many command prompts, say for example here, and if I want to specifically open the third command prompt, you need to hover over this icon and get these three command prompt, and then you need to select the command prompt which you want to open, right? Or else you need to use the alt tab button, so which will show you all the application that you have opened, and if you want to navigate to the specific one, it is very difficult, so you need to press multiple keys. So the easy way to avoid this cluttering is right click and go to the taskbar setting and use this option, combine taskbar buttons, select never. So in this way you'll be able to see each window in the taskbar very clearly, even though it is from the same application, and you'll be able to select the one which you want to open with a single click. But still there is a problem here. So if you have a very small screen, again this expanded mode of taskbar icons will eat up your space in the taskbar. So if you have opened too many applications, then it will again cause the same issue, that icon size will be very small, which will be very difficult for you to navigate between. So for that, there are two ways how you can manage this. Use a dual monitor. Whenever you are coding or whenever you are editing something, right, it is better to use a dual monitor. So you can keep the coding in one screen and the output in another screen, so that as soon as you do some changes in your code, you'll be able to see the output in the other monitor. If you can't afford a dual monitor, so Windows has an option for that. So you can create virtual desktops. For example, if you click on this icon, or if you click Windows and Tab in your keyboard, this will open this particular window, which will allow you to open new virtual desktops. So I can click on new desktop, and it will show me two desktops here. I can create as many desktop I want, and I can group the application. Say for example, I want to keep the code in the center one. So the output which I want to refer when I make some changes in the code, so I would like to keep it in the desktop 3, so that I can access my code in desktop 2, and if I want to check something in Stack Overflow, I can go to desktop 1, which is one step away, and if I want to check the output, I can go to the right to desktop 3 to check my output. if I have some application which I rarely use, for example, this command prompt and the folders which I have kept open, right? So these things I can keep it in the desktop 4 or the notes. I can keep it in the desktop 4 so that if I go to desktop 1, I will have only the browser which I use to refer some code snippets. And if I go to desktop 2, I will have the code, so which is very clean here. So it will be always open. And if I go to desktop 3, I can check the output. And similarly, if I go to desktop 4, I will have my less used or less frequently used applications. And if I have want to do anything just once and go back to the coding window, I can do it here and I can go to that. And you don't have to access this every time by pressing Windows and Tab. So there is a shortcut for this. So you can press Control and Windows button together and use your right arrow and left arrow to navigate or switch to different desktops. So I make some changes here and I can go right to check the output, and similarly I can come to the code and make some changes. If I want to refer any documentation while coding, I can go to the left and browse for a Stack Overflow or any questions that I have related to coding, and I can come back to the code and make some changes. So in this way, I don't have to worry about the number of applications that I have opened. So it will keep my workspace very clean and tidy, and I can access the application which I need at that moment. I hope this option might be helpful for you to work on different applications when you are coding. We have come to the end of this video. I hope these ideas will be helpful for you to do the faster coding using Visual Studio Code. But this is not the complete list which you can use in Visual Studio Code. There are plenty of options available in Visual Studio Code for different programming languages. But this could be the starting point which you can and you can explore more to know about the Visual Studio Code for faster coding development. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Code Loop channel if you want more videos like this, and give a thumbs up if you like this video and share it with your friends. Thank you. We'll meet in the next video.